Hello and welcome back to DEP Talk. I'm very excited because today our special guest is Jacob K. Ebbesen, filmmaker, actor, writer from Denmark. Hello, Jacob.
Hello, Pauli. Nice to be a part of this.
When did you find your creativity?
Oh, that's a big question.
It is. It's fun to start from the origin.
As a child, I always loved to go into my mother's room and put on her dresses and shoes. That was where the acting, I think, came from. It was fun to be another character. I always loved drawing pictures and...
Comics, right?
Yeah, something like that. Or just sometimes I made maps, like think about the Lord of the Rings, Middle-earth. Sometimes I loved drawing maps of fantasy worlds, and then I made up fantasy kingdoms or stuff like that. That I did a lot. I did a lot of those. And then sometimes also comics. I think it was a little difficult with the comics because I'm not the best drawer in the world. So it was difficult to get it right, I think. But I always had fun making and drawing different things.
That's good. I used to make comics too. Drawing comics is a good lesson in cinematography, blocking and staging, because that's where you frame your characters and your stories. It's like you're doing a storyboard. You're not realizing that's what you're doing. I mean, as kids, we follow curiosity. You're a very curious kid, and that led you to find your voice. And that's a wonderful thing. How did you find filmmaking to be a good way to express your creativity?
Originally, it came from, I always loved movies as a kid, watching movies with my mother or my friends, or even Les and my cousin, which, I make movies with. But later, it was actually a classmate who bought a camera, and then he started to make his own short films. And, that's cool, I thought, I want to do that too. Then I just said to myself, I want to buy a camera, and I want to do the same thing. I also will say that Paul Cusack said in a previous DEP Talk episode that Tom Smith was a great inspiration as well. I think I watched The Shadow of Revenge, I don't know how many times, just over and over again. I really loved that movie. I still do.
Some commonality here that we all saw these films on YouTube just at the right time. The tangibility, right? Like we go, whoa, we can do this.
Absolutely. Tom was also the one who probably made me interested in James Bond. I knew what James Bond was before, but he made it more interesting to me. And I actually became a fan after I watched his films.
Huh.
That's a funny, strange thing, but that's true.
What a testament to his craft. What genres were you most inspired by before you saw the action films of YouTube?
I would say Star Wars.
Such a classic.
Yeah, I just love Star Wars. It was not like many other sci-fi movies where Earth is very much the place where things happens. It was different worlds. It was so creative. It was like Lord of the Rings in space.
Captures our imagination, and especially at that age when we are in awe and just the wonder of this whole thing, and we have dreams, and how do we find an outlet for this imagination? And then you find filmmaking, you buy your own camera, you see Tom Smith on YouTube. When do you first push record on your own film?
I think it was around 2009. Me and my friend Nicholas Hansen, which I've also done some movies with. That was before Lasse came in. He came in later, and he also thought it was fun. It was me and Nicholas from the start, and it was just a night. I remember it actually as I think a Saturday night, where we were just hanging out together. And then I said to him, I bought this new camera. Should we make a movie or something? Yeah, let's do it. We didn't have any scripts or anything. It was just out of the mind. It was more like theater. I unfortunately don't have the movie anymore because my computer broke down years back. So there was a lot of movies that got lost.
That's so sad. I feel your pain.
A few years later, I think it was around 2011 or 12, we actually began to make scripts, and then we started shooting a series called Mr. Jones. I think in 1 year we made 6 of those films.
Pretty good.
Unfortunately, they are gone as well. So yeah, that's a shame.
If we would have known what we know now back then, when I used cassette tapes and then the computers, and I didn't know, and once you put the footage in the editing program, they had to stay on the computer, and sometimes other family members, without knowing, they might delete a folder or do something to reset the system, and then there you go, the footage is lost. Or did you start with Movie Maker?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Windows Movie Maker. Yeah, I remember those days. Yeah.
Yeah. You have to outsmart the program to be able
Absolutely.
to add more layers of sound, for example. You have to export it out, put it back in, and then add the next sound layer, and then find tricks in a way. Like, you have to use certain transition points to make them look like effects. So it was like, it's crude, it's bare bones, but I think we're similar in that sense that we were always looking to achieve more, but we couldn't because we didn't have the tools.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Like After Effects and all that costs money. Both of us, we couldn't afford these kinds of things. So how did you overcome the technical challenges? How did you overcome them and find ways to do effects, for example?
I started using Windows Movie Maker, and then I thought it was very limited program. You couldn't do much, and it often broke down. That really sucked. But later, then I shifted to Sony Vegas, which I've used for years. I always wanted to shift to DaVinci Resolve or Premiere Pro or something like that. When you have gotten used to the same program for so many years, it's difficult to relearn something.
I've had to switch out of necessity. I mean, we have some mutual friends who stay on certain programs as well, like Vegas. I do recommend DaVinci a lot, Jacob, actually. So if you do have the opportunity one day to switch to it and spend some time learning, and you can always ask us for help on that, because I think it would greatly, greatly benefit your projects.
Absolutely, I agree. I also think if I should choose a program to go to next, it probably would be DaVinci. I actually tried to install it on my computer, but unfortunately, my computer can't really run it well. It lags and stuff. Let's wait till another time then.
When do you feel like, all right, I'm going to create my channel. I'm going to start putting my movies on YouTube?
That was actually around the time when we make those Mr. Jones movies. I would love when we make a movie that at least people can see it. Probably not going to be many who watches the movies, but still that we make content for YouTube. I like that idea. And so it was probably around 2012 or something like that.
It's so funny because so many of our mutual friends, like Anton and obviously us, we started putting up stuff on our main channel, DEP Films, in 2012 as well.
E&H Company began in 2014 because before that we called ourselves Global Films.
Global Films?
Yeah.
E&H stands for Ebbesen and Hansen Films.
Exactly, yeah. I think Lasse was beginning to be tired of it, which is understandable. And then me and Nicholas decided to start over again. But it took at least, I think, 2 years.
Okay, that's when E&H became a thing, and that became your main channel.
Yeah, because if Lasse had been a part of that, I think we would have chosen a different name. I actually, over the years, have thought about changing the name to something totally different, but I just think it's some kind of nostalgia. I cannot really change it.
Becomes synonymous, and that's the channel you're using today, which is amazing. You gotta build your audience that way, and I keep things on the same, well, in this case, platform. What was the first official project then for E&H?
That was Combat. Tom Smith was a part of it as well. He had a small cameo as, I think it was, his character was Carter.
There's this quote that me and my friends remember to this day. Are you going to shoot me or what? Good night.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that was fun. That was a rainy day. It was raining and then it stopped. And then it started raining again and then it stopped and just over and over again. So when we actually were starting shooting that day, it was not raining. And then it just started to rain. And then we said, let's do it anyway.
Let's do it anyway. I know. I shot in, it was in Mexico, and if you're there during July and August, there's this rain season. Around like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, it starts pouring. It's like a storm. So I got very used to that. Like suddenly we have to start filming before because we're going to get the rain. And usually something happens and we start filming around the time when the rain starts happening. So we have to be out in the rain and protect ourselves. So funny memories of that. Things that you cannot control, things that just happen and then they become part of, well, the movie. You have to adapt. You have to adjust to it.
Absolutely.
You are very known in our circles as the character of Thomas Lund, your action espionage hero. You've done a lot of movies with Thomas Lund, and famously among us, you even killed him off in an entry. But you're back playing him right now in a new short film. So, Thomas Lund, I mean, what a journey.
Thomas Lund was a character I created because I think I want to do something else. I want to create an agent that's more like maybe Jason Bourne or Jack Ryan or something like that.
Like hard-edged,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, a little more rough. And then later on, when we had done the first 3 movies, I thought, I don't know if I really want to do more of these films. I didn't really think the first 3 films were that good. They didn't become what I wanted them to become. And then Nicholas told me, why don't we just do a 4th one and then change the Danish language to English, so it was more like international, get out to a bigger audience. And I thought about it, and then I said, yeah, we could do that. Maybe we should do the movie like a transition. So, there's both Danish and there's English in it. We didn't think we would come back after the 4th movie. Again, there was a period where when you work over the years, maybe the people you work with are not as passionate about movies as you are, which is all right. And then we took a break, I think was a year and a half. I think it was the 3rd Prime Minister movie was the last.
Yes.
And then we took 1 year and a half where we didn't do anything. And I didn't think we were going to come back. But then I just asked Nicholas and Lasse if they wanted to come back. I really wanted to come back to do something more. Or at least just one more movie. And then we did Thomas Lund 5, Brothers of Blood. And on that one, I just said to myself, I just want to do it full English. So I see it like this. They speak Danish, but in the movie, you only hear English.
That's sort of what we are thinking in our Clank movies, by the way. I mean, we're set in Sweden and all that, so I know we speak English, and it's the same logic right there. This is fiction to a high degree. This is our own world. It's heightened. Lund also encounters things that are bordering on supernatural or science fiction-esque, very theatrical. And I like your blend. I like how you go this hybrid route with espionage to these cult supervillains. You told me once that you were inspired by Harry Potter movies and the Sith. You're making a cocktail of things that you love, and that's so good about this.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Well, that's exactly what I'm trying to do. I think I would need to do something else instead of spy movies, because then it becomes too much the same.
So you, Anton, and us, we've all done the same plot twist, which is that the boss, who we think is the ally, the friend of our agency hero, turns out to be a bad guy who secretly has been trying to betray him the whole time.
Yeah, I've noticed that.
You have BS, he has Howard Doyle, we have John Matrix. So it's like, I think once we realize this, we've all been thinking the same thing, which is also a wonderful thing that we all relate to. We will understand our inspirations. But I think that's also what pushed us to go, no, we have to find different corners. We have to find other aspects to explore that just sets our stories apart.
And I think it's funny about what you say about we have the same kind of plot with the bosses becoming or really being the villain. Because I've thought about that many times when I watched you guys' movies and Anton's movies. It's funny, we have the same,
I just remember, Jacob, in the Lost Scene films, Mooney, the
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, he's a bad
Again,
guy.
we've all been thinking the same thing.
Yeah, it's really funny. Yeah. After the 5th film, Thomas Lund, Brothers of Blood, I thought, okay, if we're going to do another one, I want villains who are not classic spy villains. I want to blend some mystical myth kind of thing into it. And that was why the Harry Potter movies with the dark wizards and the Sith from Star Wars, and even cults from real life like the Ku Klux Klan or Illuminati or something like that. It all became a blend of that. So I decided to create the Knights of Mortis and then make it a little, I would not say supernatural because I have to explain everything that's a little over the top. The Knights have just very developed technology. I've definitely put some of myself into Lund over the years. I'm not a spy or any action kind of guy. I'm actually more of a coward in real life. I have put some of my depressive feelings into Lund. Sometimes when I had bad times, I kind of put that into some scenes sometimes with Lund, where he's very reflective. Actually, I did that in Brothers of Blood. You know, when William Hunt dies, you know, he starts smoking and whatever. That was part of me I put into him in some ways.
This is part of the artist journey, putting your voice in your character. And I know that it's sometimes hard to admit because you feel vulnerable when you say that aspect of the character that stems from me.
Yeah.
He's human too. He's feeling sadness within him. He's feeling things. He's touched, right? And he can't always emote that. I mean, he's in scenarios where it's difficult. You're so smart in how you do it, Jacob. You're so smart in how you show so much of the emotions that the characters thought process through their eyes. I'm always mesmerized. And my friends say this too when we're watching some of your films. You've done comedy. You've done absurdist stuff. Gangster Company or A Piece of Christmas. Like these guys who are like, this soul is alive in their face. It's so difficult to really explain this to you who's watching this, but just look at Jacob's movies and I know sometimes we have a difficulty taking compliments. I understand. So, but I just wanted you to know that's like the acting. How do you do it? I want to know.
Yeah, how do I do it? Well, it's time to immerse myself into what we are going to do. I think when I write the script sometimes for a movie and I have a character, okay, this character could be played by me, but how would I play it? Then I think there comes other actors who comes into mind, and I thought, okay, I want to make the character close to, let's say, John Travolta's character in Swordfish. I like that the bad guy wins. That makes it very different. But is he a bad guy really in that movie? And you know, that is just an example. It could also be a lot of other actors or characters. But I just think I take inspiration from others, and then I just try to immerse myself into the role. I cannot really explain it, really. I just think it's a kind of feeling I get.
We are limited sometimes when it comes to actor choices. Sometimes we write something and go, this character, and then you realize, oh, wait a minute, who's going to play him? And then, oh my God, I have to do it? How do I place myself in that world and ignore the fact that we have a camera running for my friends and someone's trying to make me laugh? And how do we keep ourselves in the right emotion?
We have definitely had times where we film, I think, like everybody else, where you can't look at each other because you start laughing. You know, that happens a lot. How do I find the emotion? I think it often is from something I've experienced myself. If I had something I've experienced that maybe it's not the same thing, but similar, I try to take that emotion out in the character or when I play the character when we're shooting. And then, of course, it's a blend of many inspirations from other people's work. I just think sometimes I sit in front of the TV watching a movie and then I want to be that character that I am watching. And then I try to say the same lines in the same way with the same, I actually try to imitate their accent sometimes.
Emulation.
If I've just watched a new movie and I really love the movie and there is a specific character that I really love, I sometimes, several days later after watching the movie, can still be having that character with me, or saying some of the lines, or feel that I am that character. I don't know why, but it just happens.
It's passion. It's not something that we force.
No.
It's just because we care so much and it means so much to us. Something that I thought about. What if you made an Olsen Banden film?
Oh yeah, I've thought about that for years actually.
Because I could see you doing a great interpretation of Egon Olsen.
Yeah. I have always loved the characters, as you say. We've talked about this before with Lysander Sickan from the Swedish version. I think it's just such a great universe. I've thought about it for many years doing an Olsen Banden movie. Maybe I will. I just think it's very. I've had a little difficulty how to do it, because if I'm going to do it, I want to have some of the classic elements, the traditional stuff, but I also want to do maybe modernize it a little bit. Make an Olsen gang movie set in modern day.
Yeah, I mean, you can do that. And I mean, you are a trio as well. I mean, you have Nicholas and Lasse.
Actually, we tried once to do something similar, where we're not three in that movie, we're just me and Lasse doing it. It's very close to Olsen Banden. Of course, there are clearly some things from it. There are also some things I would, if I'd done the movie now, done very differently, but it's very close to that genre. I just have to put subtitles on, and then I will send it to you at some point. Then you can watch it.
Just a little context here for the people watching. So the Olsen Banden is a older Danish film series, which is very lighthearted, but it's in the highest genre. And we have a trio of characters who are friends, and they are so good at making plans. And then in Norway and Sweden, they did their own versions of this. In Sweden, though, they changed the name to Jönssonligan, and they changed the name of the characters, and then eventually they did their own scripts after the first two films. So that's what sets them apart, but the DNA and the essence is there, and we both are big fans of each version of it, right? I've been wanting to one day make a version of Jönssonligan, and you've been wanting to make a version of Olsen Banden, and that's a really funny thing. So if you ever do that, I'll be there.
Awesome.
What's the name of Valienberg? What's the name of the bad guy?
Do you mean Buffen?
Yeah, I could be Biffen, or I could be
The more aristocratic person, the
yes.
Yeah, the business person, Bang Johansson eller Hellensen.
Oh, there you go. In Sweden, it's Valienberg Jr. Bankir.
They shift the names sometimes. It's still the same actor all the time, but they shift the names. So that's a funny little thing.
It's just so funny because, like in the Danish version, you have "Jag har en plan." Det blir alltid ett skupp. And in Sweden, it's "Jag har en plan."
Yeah.
Tajmad och klar in i minsta detalj. Ragnar så Vanheden säger, ja men det är lysande Sickan. And in Danish he says,
skide godt, Egon.
It's amazing. It brings a smile to our faces. It has the warmth. It has the heart. And I think that's what we want to do when we make our movies too. We want to just find the heart and bring that to other people.
It's funny actually with... do you know how the Olsen gang, do you know the actors who were chosen, how they got their roles?
I don't.
Before the first Olsen Banden movie, there was a Danish movie called Martha, who was about a ship, and you had the actor Ove Sprogøe, who played Egon, and you had the Morten Grunwald, who played Benny, and you had Paul Bungård, who played Kjell. And they found those actors there. But before that movie, they had done two films who was kind of a Danish parody of James Bond.
Huh.
Yeah, and they were all three in the first one of them. There was two of them. Yeah. That's really a funny thing. But after that, they did the Olsen gang because they found who should play the roles. The director of the Martha movie and Danish parody of James Bond, he thought, yes, Ove is going to play Egon, Morten is going to play Benny, and Paul is going to play Kjell.
Because the chemistry was there, like the dynamic was seen.
The first Olsen Banden, I don't know actually if it originally was in black and white. That's actually something I don't know, actually, because I've only seen it in color. But I don't know if they could do that afterwards. I don't know.
Yeah, there's like 14 films, and then later there's the Olsen Banden Jr., which took inspiration from Lilla Jönssonligan. So
Yeah.
like, it's funny how Lilla Jönssonligan happened because they couldn't make more with the main actors, and then Olsen Banden takes inspiration from that. We inspire each other. It's fun because it's not a competition. It's like an alliance, homage to each other, a common love for bringing our own version of it around to our people in our distinct countries. So it's an interesting thing, and I don't really see it happening in other industries where like we're gonna make this thing, but all three of us are gonna make our own version of it. We're gonna be united in how we do it.
Yeah.
I mean, we could do a whole episode just about Olsen Banden and Jönssonligan. I mean, just how they borrowed sets.
It's pretty wild, yeah. The Olsen gang movies were loved in Eastern Germany. The Eastern German government thought that the Olsen gang movies showed how unjust the capitalist society was.
Oh, the main character is always wanting to one-up the rich, narcissistic, selfish person, and we want to do the heist against him. We're not taking money from the poor people, we're taking it from the rich people who don't need more. So this is Robin Hood kind of thing going on there. But he's conflicted because it's like he also draws himself into like, I want to be this, but I want to be better than how you are. So this is the kind of cat and mouse game. And did you know, by the way, there's a lot of Bond references in the Jönssonligan? What do they have in common?
In the third Olsen gang, the Olsen gang in Jutland, there actually is a character who is a bad guy in the film, who has a car that's very James Bond-like. He actually is kind of a agent-looking character in the film. Of course, he's not an agent. He is a thief, and he's just trying to get the gold, as the Olsen gang is also trying. But his character is so spy-like. There is even a scene where one of the Olsen gang characters, Kel, is in a small train. I don't know what you call it. Train workers would probably use it. Yeah. And he's standing on there, and he actually becomes another person because he's got knocked in the head, and then he rises, and then there's the car with the other characters, very James Bond-like, who actually drives on the side of the railroad and shoots at them. And it's very James Bond-like in some ways.
Oh, actually, we're running out of time here, I see.
Yeah.
We could talk for hours. It's been a blast, Jacob. It's really been a blast, and we're going to have you back.
Yeah.
Where can we find you?
E&H Company on YouTube, or contact me on Facebook, Jacob K. Ebbesen, if you want to do that.
Thank you so much for being here, Jacob. Check out his movies, and see you on the next DEP Talk. So long for now.
Super.
Awesome. I just saw that.